Good evening, I'm Alexandra Lewis.
And I'm Kyle Clark. Fewer Coloradans in jail are waiting for mental health treatment these days. That's the good news.
The bad news is hundreds of inmates are still waiting months for a bed, putting court cases on hold. Here's 9 News reporter Kelly Ranke.
The year began with more than 300 people waiting in a county jail for a bed at a state mental health hospital. Hundreds of criminal cases on hold because the defendant was too ill.
What we're seeing is that people are entering jail sick and leaving even more sick.
Megan Baker keeps a close eye on the numbers. Over a decade ago, her group Disability Law Colorado sued over the long wait times and won. Under an agreement in federal court, Colorado promised to follow certain deadlines.
Yeah, I think that it's incredibly dire.
Dire, she says, despite the latest report, which shows the numbers have improved. While fewer people are on the list, there's still a long way to go. By January, most inmates who needed inpatient treatment waited in jail on average 95 to 126 days. The wait time is supposed to be just 7 to 28 days.
I struggle to say that I'm in a place of optimism. I think that, certainly it could be worse, right?
But we are able to be more positive than we have been in several years.
Daniel Murray is one of the special masters in charge of monitoring Colorado's progress.
But they've been able to staff the hospital better, which helps them open units that were closed. There's still much to do. The wait list is still long. It's longer than it was before the pandemic. Opening beds alone will never be the solution.
The wait times to get a bed are getting shorter, especially for those in greatest need. Still, hundreds of people are sitting in jail for months waiting for a spot when they haven't been convicted of a crime.
I would love nothing more than for this wait list to tank into the ground. And
Colorado lawmakers are now considering a bill that aims to reduce this wait list. It could create a diversion program, so instead of restoring someone to competency, people will be referred to wraparound care. After a certain amount of time, the bill says the charges could be dismissed. Kelly Rinke, 9 News.
Kelly, thank you.
It was a slippery drive this morning after last night's rain, ice, and snow. Here's some video from one of our photojournalists right along Colfax. He said he had to dodge some potholes. West Metro Fire says they responded to several fender benders this morning because of traffic lights that were covered in snow. Firefighters used the ladder to get up to the lights, have to go and kind of clean them off. This is at Eastman and Wadsworth in Lakewood.
So not a whole lot compared to what we saw last time around, Kathy.
No, actually tonight, you guys, things were so much better. The ice and snow melted off many of the main arteries, and the storm system, this latest big spring storm, is slowly moving east out of the state. We're seeing the snow really almost come to an end across the state, along with the winter weather and travel advisories that were an issue for much of the day today. Out ahead of it, the next big story will be the severe weather threat tomorrow through the Central Plains. And around here, with the clearing skies, we are headed to the mid-teens tonight. There's a little more mountain snow coming in tomorrow. And while tomorrow will be warmer and drier, after seeing anywhere from 3 inches of snow at DIA, 8 inches in Lakewood, 10 in the Roxborough area, it won't be entirely calm. Temperatures today were very cold in the 20s and 30s. We're still at 22 in Denver, 30 in Lamar, 23 in Kremling this hour. And the wind, thankfully, has let up out of the north. And hopefully that wind will continue into Nebraska and Kansas, and our state will calm down. Counterclockwise swirl here, bringing in a few residual snow showers right along the spine of the Continental Divide. But the trend will be for clearing skies, some sunshine tomorrow, and then a partly sunny afternoon with a stray rain or snow shower is likely in the afternoon, so not entirely calm or quiet. Temperatures continue in the 20s during the overnight time period. We'll have much more on the warming trend that kicks off tomorrow coming up in Maine weather.
We now know that 2 people died in Teller County as a result of that snowstorm that brought up to 20 inches of snow to the area nearly 2 weeks ago. The Teller County coroner says one man died shoveling snow, another died trying to get to his vehicle. Both men were in their 60s. The sheriff's office says some people were stuck in their homes there for more than a week. Rescuers had to use a tractor to get to one family.
A former Loveland police officer is facing federal charges that carries a maximum sentence of life in prison. Investigators arrested Dylan Miller back in November after a 15-year-old accused him of sexually assaulting her in a park while he was on duty. She told investigators Miller stopped her and another person in North Lake Park. The victim said Miller told the other person to leave, then took her to a secluded area and assaulted her. He's also facing other charges for kidnapping, sexual assault, and official misconduct. Miller's expected back in court on April 11th.
Some police chiefs in Colorado are pushing back on a proposed ban on handcuffing people face down on their stomach, a position that has led to deaths. Some state legislators want to ban so-called prone restraint after a 9 News investigation found more than 130 people nationwide have died after being held in that position. Today, both the Colorado Springs and Pueblo police chiefs said the bill as written would not help public safety. It would make their jobs harder.
The prone position is the safest position to take somebody into custody.
We're not saying you can't use prone restraint at all, but we are saying that once you have someone subdued and controlled, that you are able then, that you must lift them back up so that they can breathe.
The police chiefs say they plan to testify against that bill. We should mention the Colorado Springs Police Department is being sued right now for a prone death back in 2020. House Judiciary Committee is scheduled to discuss that bill on banning prone restraint when they meet next Tuesday. New numbers show Aurora's photo speed enforcement program costs more than it collects.
Now, city leaders in Aurora say they need to make a change. 9 News reporter Brianna Clark is looking into this tonight.
Yeah, the pilot program hasn't even been around for a year yet, and already Aurora City Council members say it's just not worth it. They shared this graphic at last week's Public Safety Committee meeting. Since June, Aurora has made more than $75,000 off of speeding tickets from the photo enforcement program. But that doesn't match up for how much the program costs, more than $500,000. Public Safety Vice Chair Steve Sundberg tells me that the program looked good on paper, which is why he was all for it at first. But now it's clear it is not worth the cost.
It's frustrating. This should have been a program I think that would have worked. It works in Denver. I think our former police chief didn't wrap his arms around it at first, which I think could have got off to a more solid start. Our current interim chief and leadership did embrace it and tried their best to staff it, but disappointing. It's ultimately disappointing. We gave it the good old college try. We're going to be looking for other alternatives, and we're going to address this issue of speeding.
As of now, he says City Council plans to terminate the current contract with their current vendor, but not the program completely. They want to find a way to keep it going in more cost-efficient ways, and they plan to talk about this more at their next Public Safety Committee meeting. Brianna Clark, 9 News.
Doesn't make sense. If it costs more, then it's bring it in. All right, makes sense. Brianna, thank you. You know, in less than 24 hours, drivers hit and killed 2 people walking in the Denver area. A driver hit a man along 120th Avenue in Thornton about 6 a.m. Sunday. Then another man was hit and killed just before 6 this morning in Arapahoe County. The crashes follow a trend we've been seeing for years, an increase in deadly pedestrian crashes in Colorado. Numbers from CDOT show a 44% spike since 2020, from 93 pedestrian deaths to 136 last year.
While the number of impaired driver deaths is coming down, the number of people not buckling up is coming down, the one thing that continues to increase are pedestrian deaths. We need drivers to step up and drive more safely, and we need pedestrians to be more aware.
The driver in the deadly Thornton crash took off, so police are looking for that person, looking for a gray car with front end damage. In Arapahoe County, the driver did stay on the scene.
New tonight, the NBA is investigating the brother of Nuggets star Michael Porter Jr. Jontay Porter plays for the Toronto Raptors. He's accused of gambling in violation of league rules. The investigation is looking at 2 games in particular, January and March, where Porter played briefly before he left the game, citing injury or illness. In both cases, he did not come close to hitting the prop wager line for points, rebounds, and three-pointers that bettors could put money on. Porter was out for the Raptors' last 2 games, Saturday and tonight, citing personal reasons. His locker was also empty tonight, though his nameplate was still up.